welcome to the 107th episode of Redeeming the Time. I am your host, Jacob Wells. This is my dad and my co-host, Keith Ed Wells. Thank you for listening to yet another episode. We are getting into Revelation 14 today. But before that, I've got a fun game that I saw on YouTube Shorts that I would like to play to quiz you on. But before that, how are you, Dad?
A word from our sponsor.
Coke Zero.
Yeah.
I've been drinking a lot more Pepsi Zero cans so that I don't go out and...
It's sweeter.
Pepsi Zero cans are the best can.
Yeah.
Coke Zero is better out of the fountain. We've said that before, but just in case you were wondering. We were just talking, we're in the library here. This is where we record. And the books behind my dad, if you see me look, you can't really see that angle of it, but like
If
the
you're
books
watching,
behind him are ingrained in my brain now. We're at 107 episodes and all but, how many have we done outside of the library?
4, maybe 5 at the most. No,
much more than
maybe
that.
more, yeah. 6.
Or
Do I hear 7? 6, 7.
All right, I got a game for us.
All right.
13 questions here.
Oh, my.
They'll go quick. So there was a quiz of like 2,000 people that have these questions, and you are trying to give me what the majority thinks, not what you think, because some of these I think you will be in the minority, but what you think the majority said. Okay.
Let's see what other folks see how you do as well.
Yes.
By the way, we were talking about desserts.
Where are you going?
We were talking about the Christmas desserts and stuff that we had been eating last time.
I've eaten a lot of chocolate.
I know. Well, Michelle Graycraft brought in a pie called transparent pie. I didn't even let you try it. I ate it all.
Really?
Yeah, it was like chess pie.
Oh, Dad, come on.
And it was, she just had a little bit left.
Okay.
It was good. Thank you very much.
Transparent pie?
Yeah. It was the weirdest thing. I mean, it was...
But you demolished it?
Well, yeah, it was like that big. So, I mean...
So, yeah.
But it was transparent. I mean, it was clear.
Interesting.
So...
I've eaten a lot of chocolate over the last month or two.
I've eaten so much sugar. Yeah.
It's bad. We need a New Year's resolution. I don't like
All right, go to the game. Sorry. Thank you, Michelle. It was very good.
Transparent pie.
You could not eat more than one slice of that. You'd need, like, insulin.
I take that as a challenge. All right. Will Joe Burrow win a ring? Yes or no? What do you think the majority said?
Of 2,000 people in Cincinnati or around the country?
Country. This company did it. This fantasy football company.
They're all fantasy football
No.
things? Okay.
They're mostly it's mostly football as we're into the playoffs.
I'm going to say the majority said no.
Majority said yes, 53%.
Oh, okay.
So
that's barely
yes,
majority.
That was a close one. Would you rather have the fastest wide receiver or the receiver with the best hands?
Best hands.
Yes, hands 86%.
Yeah.
Said best hands. You want a Larry Fitzgerald that you can throw the ball to, and he'll have less drops than.
Yes, says
touchdowns.
If you watch the Green Bay Chicago game,
what was going? Dude, the
right
hands
through his
turned
hands
into bricks
3 times.
Nice hands, feet.
Come on, dude. Go ahead.
That's one of my favorite sayings in the world. I don't know. You said it at one point in my childhood, and I've never stopped saying it. All right. Would you rather have a offensive or defensive minded coach?
I know the answer used to be defensive minded. I'd rather have an offensive minded coach.
So what are you saying?
Offensive.
Yes, 74% said offensive.
Yeah,
offensive.
It's made for offense now.
Yeah, they want an Andy Reid, not a Bill Belichick.
Exactly.
Thanksgiving or Christmas football?
Thanksgiving.
Yeah. I mean, it was 81%. Why is there football on Christmas?
Nobody should be watching, even though I did.
I did, but, like, it's Thanksgiving. Like, football is...
Thanksgiving.
So
Joe Madden with his 6-legged turkey and all that kind of stuff. Yeah.
I was too young. Will Lamar Jackson win a ring? If this was asked 5 years ago...
I was like a 95%.
Yeah.
Yes.
No.
Really?
58% says no.
Really?
That situation's pretty bad now over there in Baltimore. Is pass interference called too much or not enough?
Too much.
Yeah, 70% said too much.
So
let the boys play.
Would you fire Zach Taylor now knowing
Yes.
that Harbaugh's available?
I would have fired him in the middle of the season.
Either case.
I mean, he's, what is it, 7 or
Whatever.
7
it doesn't
and
matter.
30 without Joe Burrow?
Now that I know that, I'd be getting rid of him.
See you later, Zachary. Prime, this is...
You said these weren't all football. These are
no,
all
I
football.
did say they're all football, not all fantasy football.
Oh, okay.
These are all football. Would you rather have Prime Manning or Prime Rodgers? Aaron Rodgers, that is, and Peyton Manning, that is, not Eli. Prime Peyton or Prime Aaron?
It depends on what surrounds them.
If you were to build a franchise, would you rather have
if I
Prime
had
Rodgers or Prime?
If I had the Colts receivers he had, I'd rather have him. If I have to deal with Manning.
56% says Manning.
Yeah, he's a head case.
Rodgers?
Yeah.
What is more electric? This is not football, but it's sports. What is more electric? A walk-off buzzer beater, or a walk-off home run, okay, or a buzzer beater, 3? Both to obviously both to win the game.
Just a normal game.
I mean, yeah. What's more electric? I thought about this one. Like, what would I have rather done in
buzzer beater?
Walk off, 53%. Are you keeping track?
Yeah.
Walk-offs are so much harder. So much harder. You have to be in a position.
You didn't ask if it was harder.
I know, but I think that's why it's more electric, because these people understand.
Now all I hear is Marty Brenneman in my head going, and
the clip is so much better for a buzzer beater, in my opinion.
Like, it's the other team does it, you can just hear it, and the game belongs to whoever. Yeah.
I was just thinking about it like a walk-off. You have to be the person up to bat. You have to have the people on base or whatever.
Whatever. It's harder, yeah, but the electric of that close.
What's that guy's name? The NBA guy who does the bangs? Breen?
Oh, yeah.
Sorry, what were you saying?
I don't know. Just Gus Johnson.
Yeah.
Going nuts.
Would you rather keep or remove international NFL games?
Get rid of them. I could care less.
Keep, 51%.
Who cares?
Yeah, I don't really care. What is a better indicator of talent, the eye test or stats?
Stats.
Eyes, 79%.
Come on. That's stupid. That's dumb.
If you look at LeBron James play basketball, you can obviously tell that guy's talented. Rather than a game that he had 20 points, 7 rebounds, like
one game, sure, but if you're showing me his stats from college,
he didn't go to college.
Okay, but
I know what you're saying. Yeah, I guess people are more on the eye test. You can tell that Kevin Durant was talented at basketball. You can tell that Shohei Ohtani's talented. You don't have to look at the stats.
But you show me the stats of what he does in playoffs, and I'm not taking Harden to save my life.
That's true. It's also stats. Stats allow past players to show their talent. So if you look at Ted Williams' stats, you can say, "Oh, I didn't see him play, but this guy was obviously talented because he had a batting average of 400."
All right, whatever. All right, so you're talking about stats. How about the whole? Yeah, okay, we'll get to it. How about the whole breaking Strahan's record for sacks?
Myles Garrett.
17 games.
Yeah.
That's not even fair. There should be an asterisk by that.
Should be. Yeah,
it should be they should make that like per game.
Well, it should be era, like in.
Yeah, that's.
Yeah. In 17 games.
I mean, you give Strahan 2 more games a season.
Yeah. 3 more here.
Yeah.
More.
Oh, I thought we were done.
No. Are there more?
Would you rather have
more reviewed plays or let the boys play? More reviews or less reviews?
For football?
For anything. Sports in general.
Man alive, they do it in college basketball. 20 years goes by. All momentum is lost. Football, no, I'd keep it. I'd keep the reviews in football.
So more reviews?
Not more.
I said more or less.
Let
them play.
You gave me 3 options?
All right, I'll give it to you.
More.
They want the reviews. I
want the reviews.
All right,
not in college basketball, though.
It's 4th and 2.
Mm-hmm.
Whatever team, there's no context to this. 4th and 2, are you running or are you passing?
That's the dumbest thing ever. I don't know if I've been running well the whole game. I don't know who I'm playing.
I need the context. Who's my quarterback? Who's my running back? I'm passing.
I'm passing.
I'm
passing. Yeah, I'm passing.
Even if I'm the quarterback.
I mean, if I've got Derrick Henry, I'm running it. You know.
That isn't one of the dumber ones. All right, last one. Would you rather have an elite wide receiver or an elite edge rusher, pass rusher?
Today, everyone would say receiver because apparently running backs are a dime a dozen anymore. At least that's the way they're paying them.
Not running backs, edge rusher, pass rusher, the guy on defense, like the Myles Garrett.
Oh, I would take an edge rusher then.
Yeah, 65% then.
Yeah.
Yeah, not a rusher. You can get anybody to run the ball. They don't run. Yeah. I'm with you there. So what did you end up?
I don't agree with that, but
what'd you end up? 8 and 5? Since I gave you that one.
No, I think 6 and.
I knew you were gonna do that. Well, I need to know who my quarterback is.
Oh yeah, who's gonna? That's the dumbest thing ever.
Whatever. All right, let's get into Revelation 14. So 14 seems to answer a few questions from Revelation 13. The 2 big ones are, is the beast from 13 completely victorious? And we see that he's not. And then later on, we see what happens to the beast and his followers toward the end of the chapter.
Yeah, it's an interesting spot, this chapter, because John brings in all this information on a still decently high level of the beast and the Antichrist, the image of the beast. Doesn't flesh a lot of it out yet. So we've got this whole what's coming about, the demise on earth, and now we shift again, and we're on earth at the end, but we're also shifting to heaven through part of this chapter. So it's bad. What's going to happen? Now let's see some victory. So yeah, there's this swing to the end of time. Yeah. Not complete time. It's still before the millennial reign of Christ, but it's this shift. Yeah.
So I'm going to read the first 3.
Go through 5 if you don't mind.
Okay. And I looked, and lo, a lamb stood on the Mount Zion, and with him 144,000, having his father's name written in their foreheads. And I heard a voice from heaven as the voice of many waters, and as the voice of a great thunder, and I heard the voice of harpers harping with their harps. There you go. And they sung, and they sung as it were a new song before the throne and before the four beasts and the elders, and no man could learn that song but the 144,000 which were redeemed from the earth. These are they which were not defiled with women, for they are virgins. These are they which follow the Lamb whithersoever he goeth. These were redeemed from among men, being the firstfruits unto God and to the Lamb. And in their mouth was found no guile, for they are without fault before the throne of God.
All right. So we get here in verse 1. Excuse me. The 144,000. Last time we met these folks, these are the 12,000 from each of the 12 tribes of Israel back in Revelation chapter 7. That was their beginning, so we see the first things about them. Now this is their time at the end. I believe this occurs, I think this is the end of the 7 years.
Yeah, so the question is...
We'll see later on why.
Yeah, was the beast of 13, were they completely victorious? And we see, like it was said earlier, that these 144,000 would be protected, and we see them here.
Yeah.
So
with the Lamb, a lamb it says there, but it's Lamb, capital L. So this is Jesus Christ. Like I said, this is the contrast to chapters 12 and 13. And interesting, they're on Mount Zion. So they're on Mount Zion with the Lord. So they're in Jerusalem on Mount Zion, where the temple location, you can think of it that way, with the Lord. The Lord previously seen in heaven, now they're here. Now some people think this Mount Zion is in heaven. I don't. I think it means exactly what it says, based on what we're going to see here. Now, the cool thing is, think about this. The last time the Lamb, that's an interesting term that's used there. The last time he was there, physically,
was in the form of Jesus?
The Lamb.
Yeah. True
Lamb, crucified for us at that time, being rejected now by the very people that are now surrounding him, Jewish, 144,000 Jews that have completely accepted him as their Messiah. That's cool.
Yeah.
Yeah, so we have him there. This is sort of the triumph at the end of the tribulation. So this is the end. We're going to see why we think that in a minute. And it's noticeable they have this, the Father's name written in their foreheads. So that must, we talked about that with the knockoff of that with the beast.
Showing the allegiance.
Yeah, this must have actually, been visible to see.
Yeah, just like the other mark. Yeah.
It's so odd. Because like when you see somebody with a tattoo on their head, you take notice typically, or like that's odd. Why would you do that? That kind of thing. Coming off of chapter 13, where the sign in their forehead, be it a chip, or I think that was physically visible as well, that it wasn't just something that was an implanted chip. I think that's part of it. The mark of the beast, but I think it was a visible symbol as well.
Yeah.
Verse 3.
And they sung, I already read it, but I'll read it again. And they sung it as it were a new song before the throne and before the four beasts and the elders, and no man could learn that song but the 144,000.
Yeah.
So.
Oh, I skipped 2 completely, didn't I? Yeah. So
the
God rings from heaven there, a voice of many waters, a voice of great thunder, and you hear this song from the harpers harping with their harps.
It's like a 12 Days of Christmas.
Yeah,
song.
That's what I think too. So they sing a new song. There's several things in Revelation which talks about a new song. Being in music for years of my life. And I still sing and stuff, but we like what we like. We like the things we're comfortable with. We really like, and every year I get older, I realize this. I like the songs that I grew up with. You put on a song that I listened to in high school. I still know all the words. All that. Oh, that's great. That's fine. But there are new songs that express new experiences in our life. And I think that's one of the things here. And they sing it before the throne, and only they could sing it. Did you read anything on Spurgeon on that?
Mm-mm.
He had a really cool comment on that if you ever get a chance to look it up. But this is a song that was learned here on earth through their experiences of what they were called to do. And it's a song that they used to praise the Lord. All of that is to say there are certain songs you can only sing and truly worship the Lord because you experienced it. Have you ever had a song where, okay, maybe you grew up singing it, a hymn or something of that nature, and now you've had some experiences now as an adult, and you're like, oh, this really means more to me,
Yeah, I'm trying to think of one.
I mean, I think of, I love the hymn, Does Jesus Care? And there's a couple verses in that once you've experienced what the verse speaks about, you sing it with gusto.
Yeah.
You sing it with all your heart. And for those that don't sing because they're too cool or whatever, you are missing an experience that God has given us to worship Him and to connect with Him, in my opinion. But there are certain songs that can only be sung if you've experienced it, and that praise being extended, and that's what they're singing. He's singing a song that they, as the 144,000 that God has given this task to, they're the only ones that can do.
I would say Jesus Is Mine that hymn has hit me more than in the last year or two than ever before. As a kid, I was like, man, this song is slow. But in the last year, it was, I don't know, it hits harder because, to be honest, I've relied on Him more than ever in my life rather than relying on something else. So Him being mine means more to me than as a teenager being.
Yeah. Just because I like the tune or that kind of thing. Yeah, exactly. Now another thing it says here in this, at the end of it, they sing a song which were redeemed from the earth. So we've talked.
It says redeemed in verse 4 too, if that's where you're going.
Well, and what does redeemed mean?
They accepted Christ.
Right, but you're redeemed me, and when I redeem something, I've purchased something. Yeah. So Jesus has redeemed them from the earth. He has purchased them from the earth. Now, I say that because if you don't just read one chapter at a time, and you're reading 13 and 14 together, and you've got this whole thing where if you don't worship the image of the beast, you're not going to be able to buy, sell, and you're going to be put to death here. So there's this whole thing. You can't buy or sell, but Jesus bought you. I don't know. Maybe that's. But the whole thing is a battle for the heart. Is what's going on here. As I considered this, thinking, we've talked different things with our teenagers here at the church, and I watch college students, and it's most, the younger you are, the more, that's not right, but it is, you're more susceptible to allowing yourself to succumb to pressures and manipulation. I think we're all easily manipulated.
No, you're right. That's easier.
But the younger, the more naive you are you don't see the end of the trail as much as you do when you get older. You still can have it happen without a doubt. But we have to we see this contrast in 13 and 14 with this battle for the human heart. And we have to be careful what we permit our hearts to follow. I mean, it is so easy. They just get one little hook in you, and then slowly you're going down this path. You start working at a place. You start hanging out with the people after work. You start, I mean, just boom, 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 boom. Snowballing down. You start to watch this, or
it's a great manipulation of doing, like, you get them with one little thing, and then it becomes you have the mark.
Satan promises us everything, but he delivers only a fraction of it. It's all big at the beginning, but he delivers only a fraction of it, and the bondage that comes with that. And at this point, you took the mark. Oh, you can do this, you can do that, you can do this, but now if you don't, you're dead. In this stage, but it's that way. It's that way now too. I mean, you might not be dead. You're not going to be struck dead because you didn't bow down to the image of the beast. But this is still the same principle here. This is just the price in the future is going to be far greater than it is right now. But we have to be careful there. So.
I thought it was cool with verses 4 and 5, that the depiction that the means to get to heaven does not waver has not wavered even to the end of time. These people are obviously, they're redeemed. It says that twice. Yeah. And they were followers of Christ, and Christ redeemed them and paid the price for them, but they accepted it now. Yeah. And I don't know, that was... Yeah. We often get sidetracked, or we get so involved with everything going on, and we lose track of, okay, it's still Jesus. It's still Jesus redeeming his redeeming power of what he did on the cross, and even to this 144,000.
There's some interesting things that come up with these. I didn't mean to cut you off on that.
You didn't cut me off.
It gives us a little detail about these 144,000 we didn't get in chapter 7. Their work is wholly dedicated. So they're virgins, it says there. Why mention that? For they were not defiled with women, meaning they must be men. For they are virgins, and this I think this is just an indication that they were wholly dedicated. They had a very short-term job. This wasn't like a whole lifetime. Like if you're a pastor, you've got to not be married. That's not what this is. Nowhere close to what this is talking about. This is the task that was given these 144,000, and you have to keep pure and holy during this time. Makes me think. You remember when we went to the Tomb of the Unknown Soldier, up in Arlington?
It's hot.
Yeah, we went in August. It was boiling hot. But to do that, they have to agree to. They don't drink alcohol during that time. They're restricted on who they're allowed to be around during that time. There's all kinds of requirements, and it's for a specific period of time, and that's sort of what I was thinking about here. And based on the wording, they were probably all men, Jewish, but followers of Jesus Christ. Because look at there, it says at the end, what does it say? They follow the Lamb. Where does that say that? I lost it.
4. These are they which follow the Lamb whithersoever he goeth. These were redeemed from among men, being the first fruits.
Okay, so there's the next word. They're the first fruits.
Unto God and to the Lamb.
So first fruits, meaning they're the first ones that followed Christ, and they led the way for salvation during the tribulation. For those there's a lot of folks that they don't think, well, how can a person come to know Christ during this time? Well, apparently there is, because first fruits means there's a harvest coming after that as well. So just one more comment on the end of verses 4 and 5. I said this earlier, but this speaks of the end of what's happening, the end of the tribulation. But we've got to be wary in our day of the build up to this. It's too easy to take us out. We need all those phrases to be watchful, to be diligent and wise. They just every month they mean more to me as I watch folks, and in my own life too. So, all right, let's go to, I don't know, what do you want to do? 6 through 11, or you want to do 6 through 8? 6 through 8
first. And I saw another angel fly in the midst of heaven, having the everlasting gospel to preach unto them that dwell on the earth, and to every nation and kindred and tongue and people, saying with a loud voice, Fear God, and give glory to him, for the hour of his judgment is come, and worship him that made heaven and earth and the sea and the foundations of waters. And there followed another angel, saying, Babylon is fallen, that great city, because she made all nations drink of the wine of the wrath of her fornication. So the first thing that stuck out to me is that an angel is now presenting the gospel. And this is the only time that we see angels and not humans only spreading the gospel. So this is the last call. It's time. And the hour has come. The same gospel, different tone, different messenger, but the message is give glory to God on your own accord, or you will be compelled to give the glory. And either way, God is going to win, and you need to accept Christ.
Yep.
And yeah, that was it coming from an angel. Is this is the last. The last push.
I don't think this is like the full message here, the everlasting gospel to preach. It sounds different, but it's sort of preached differently here as well because of the time that they're in. Seiss had this quote, hence still something of a gospel message sounds. It is gospel, but it is the gospel in the form it takes when the hour of judgment has set in. It is one of the very last calls of grace to the apostate world, as you just said there. So this is there's 3 angels here. This is the first angel. The first one's like giving the gospel.
Hey, come on.
If you want to live, this is it. The second angel then, let's get to that.
Verse 8. And there followed another angel, saying, Babylon is fallen, that great city, because she made all nations drink of the wine of the wrath of her fornication. So Babylon here is the depiction or the symbol of mankind falling. The human nature, the sinful, Satan, sin, it has fallen because it has been drinking of the spiritual fornication, and it has destroyed itself.
Yeah, so you've got the 2 contrast verses 6 and 7. Drink of the gospel, this refreshment, this living water. Now this is what Satan's been peddling here. This wine, this wrath of her fornication that we're talking about. Now this is the whole Babylon thing's going to come up more in chapter 17, where this is the Antichrist capital. Let's wait till that chapter to talk about is this actually Babylon, or is this Rome, or is this I've even heard people say it's America, that kind of, so there's all kinds of things out there of what it is. But Babylon has fallen.
So it's not a depiction. It's not like a symbol of mankind.
I think it is that too, but
it's also a physical thing.
I think it's based on where it's saying. I think it's a physical location as well. That's a personal opinion. It definitely has symbolic nature to it as well.
Babylon has always been the indulging of all the splendors of the world can give you.
There's an interesting mechanism that's going to be used here. If you've broken it into parts, there's a literary mechanism that that John has used through this. I get Paul stuff all week. In the first part of the book, it mentions the throne of God, but then that becomes the main part of the next section. Then part 2 will mention the altar of incense. That becomes the main part in the next part. So he'll mention something, and then it'll become the main part of the next section. So, there's the appearance of the monster, the beast. He becomes the main part of the next. Now we have this mention of Babylon, and it will become the main thing that we'll talk about. So he always mentions, I really recognized it till this part, mentions it, and then it becomes what he's going to describe in detail later on. I don't know if this is a city. I personally think it is a city. I don't. We'll talk about it if it's Babylon or not. But from the time directly after the flood, Babylon always represents man making a name for themselves outside of God. It's their own religion, the idolatry, the breaking of the first commandments in this. So the wrath of her fornication, unfaithfulness to God.
Yeah.
Is it real promiscuity? Probably. I don't know. Every false religion has some promiscuity involved with it, but it's definitely an unfaithfulness, fornication, as God has always called Israel. They go a whoring after. There's this promiscuity, an unfaithfulness to God.
Hosea.
Yeah, exactly.
The whole book of Hosea.
Yeah. So look at this picture too. This was real interesting as I was studying. I'd never considered this. Look at the picture throughout the Word of God here as we think of this. It starts in Genesis with God calling Abraham out of the region of Babylon to look for the area that he has. Hebrews 11:10, for he looked for a city which hath foundations, whose builder is and maker is God. So he calls him out of Babylon to this city that he wants him. Now we see it ends in New Jerusalem, and as we go into these next chapters, we're going to see Babylon and Jerusalem introduced as two separate women. One that's this basically the great whore, and the other one as this beautiful bride. One an unfaithful to God, the other one the bride of Christ, the beautiful bride of Christ. So there's a lot of this symbolism that does go with that. So that's all I had for 6 through 8. 9 through 11.
And the third angel followed them, saying with a loud voice, if any man worship the beast and his image, and receive his mark in his forehead or in his hand, the same shall drink of the wine of the wrath of God, which is poured out without mixture into the cup of his indignation, and he shall be tormented with fire and brimstone in the presence of the holy angels and in the presence of the Lamb. And the smoke of their torment ascendeth up forever and ever, and they have no rest day nor night, who worship the beast and his image, and whosoever receiveth the mark of his name. So
the third angel now.
The third angel, and he's those who receive the mark, claiming their allegiance to the Antichrist, worshiping him over the one true God and one true Christ. Those who do this will drink of the wine of the wrath of God. Full strength. It's not diluted. It says without mixture. Yes. So there's no water mixed in here. There's no dilution. This is the full wrath of God that has been prophesied and told of throughout the entire Word of God here. So, especially like in the Thessalonians, like the warnings there to the church, to the non-believers up until this point. Hey, repent with these two angels. Hey, this is what's happening, and now it is. You are going to drink of the wrath of God with the full wrath of God.
So it shows, no one took the mark of the beast by accident.
Yeah.
They caved, maybe. They willingly took it, many, but no one took it by accident. And so he's showing us in chapter 13, if you don't bow to the image of the beast, you're killed. Okay? That's a single death, right? Here, you have the full wrath of God.
with
this
torment.
This is eternal.
Yeah.
So this is a big difference. The short term versus the long term.
Yeah, the forever and ever.
Yeah.
Eternal
damnation.
Yeah, and I don't know Greek. I'm not saying this, but Guzik mentions that because he knows Greek. This is the strongest form of eternality that Greek has in those words, forever and ever. There, that means this is it.
Yeah, this isn't punishment as in a take your punishment. This single dose of this is punishing.
Yeah,
this is an eternal punishment. This speaks of eternal judgment.
So
there's a lot of things here. The first one I that I found interesting that I'd never really considered there. In the presence of the holy, he shall be tormented with fire and brimstone in the presence of the holy angels.
In the presence of the Lamb.
In the presence of the Lamb. So,
I never thought about this either.
Yeah, that's an interesting thought.
So does that mean that God's presence is in hell?
God's presence is everywhere.
Yeah, I never thought about that.
Yeah.
I thought it was the absence of God's presence in hell because it's Satan. I've always viewed it as Satan's domain, and Satan's like.
But it's not.
No.
We know it's not Satan's domain. That's something that the world has created.
Yeah.
He's not down there with a pitchfork and he controls who goes in and out. Not at all. God controls it all, and he determines who goes there based off what they've done with the what has been the opportunity has been given them.
Yeah, and I don't think this means that Jesus is in hell or like visits hell. This is the presence of God, and the idea that isn't that the worst torment that you could ever have if you did not accept and you are punished because of that, but you still have the presence of the Lord in your mind that you did not accept him, and to me that's more of a mental torment.
Yeah,
obviously we know it's a physical and everything like that, but I don't know.
Well, the presence of God's judgment, but not the presence of God's love at that point.
But you had the choice to,
yes.
And you had the choice to, and you didn't, and that is why you're here, and that's.
So it's for eternity, and it says no rest. I find that interesting as well, that in this there is no rest. Let me find that. Help me out.
11. And the smoke of their torment ascendeth up forever and ever, and they have no rest day nor night, who worship the beast in his image, and whosoever receiveth the mark of his name.
So this has come about here lately. There's a guy, N.T. Wright. He is an older theologian, and he's made a lot of splashing lately with different things. But he is his comments on annihilation have become popular lately. Annihilation is this concept that we'll just, instead of judgment, our judgment will be just, we're gone. We'll cease to exist. Kirk Cameron, who has done a lot of great things, he has a podcast, and he was speaking with his son. He has a similar thing to what you and I do, and he started saying, that sounds good. And man, he's just been, people have not been kind, but to me, it sounded like he was dealing with the thoughts of, he wasn't sure on something. That was one of those where it's like, you probably should have that conversation by yourself, not putting that out on the airwaves. But this whole concept, it just doesn't hold up to Scripture.
For the lost, you're saying?
Yeah. So the whole concept is if I'm lost and I've not accepted Christ and I've rebelled against the Lord, then hell is this place where, yes, maybe there's punishment for a period of time and then you cease to exist. It's not eternal. Well,
no, it's forever and ever.
It doesn't. That's not what the Scripture says at all. It says they have no rest day nor night. that speaks of a long. It talks forever and ever and eternity. Those are expressions of continuations.
There has
a continuation there.
If there was only punishment here on earth, then that would mean that the people, the lost that don't accept Christ, they almost beat God, because there's not judgment. There's no if there's no everlasting punishment, then there's no real true judgment or true God is not fully just.
Yeah, let me read this on here. There's a couple things. On the annihilationist view, if therefore, this is Linux. On the annihilationist view, if therefore follows the impenitent will not be annihilated instantaneously, they will first be punished and then annihilated. However, in countries that still have the death penalty, it would be regarded as completely inconsistent with justice and compassion that a person who is to be executed should be punished for a finite period. And he goes, we now meet another set of difficulties. First, what is the point of a period of punishment? Is it for the guilty to pay the penalty for their sins, as the very idea of differential punishment implies? For if this is the cause, why then annihilate people who have paid the penalty? That would be a blatant miscarriage of justice, utterly unworthy of God. If the period of punishment does not pay the penalty for sins, then the punishment has not been exhausted. However, we have just seen that annihilation in itself does not amount to punishment, and that in turn would mean that the guilty have not paid the penalty. Second, the idea of a period of punishment raises the underlying question as to whether it is possible for a human being to exhaust the penalty for sin in a finite stretch of time. If it is, then that person should afterwards be set free, according to all civilized legal practice. Or is it that the finite period of punishment is imposed because of a person's individual sins, and when that penalty is paid off, they are annihilated because they remain unrepentant? This now leads to a very odd circumstance. For if the penalty of their sins has been paid, they are justified, are they not? The concept of a justified yet unrepentant person is rather difficult to wrap one's head around. Then he has David Golding. Annihilation would then be punishment for rejecting the Savior, not so much for rejecting his sacrifice, because having suffered for his own sins and being therefore justified, the man needs no sacrifice. He is annihilated simply for his wrong attitude of heart towards the divine persons. If that is so, then, excuse my apparent comments here, free will is not what it appears to be. God turns out, after all, to be like Mr. Henry Ford, who told his customers that they could have a car in any color they wished so long as it was black. As God, who gives his creatures irretrievable free will, and even when they persist in using it to reject him, still honors the gift he has given them, is, to my mind, far greater than a God who gives his creatures free will only as long as they do not use that free will to decide against him. That's pretty good. So I just thought I'd share that. I'm reading this off a phone, so that was a lot of words to read off a phone.
At one point, you started talking like Linux.
Oh, I wish I could. People would listen. They would, for a period of time, that accent, and you just want to read it. You just want to listen to him. So annihilation doesn't make sense. I realize he is N.T. Wright is more educated than I ever will be, but that doesn't mean he's right. I mean, it just doesn't hold to Scripture anywhere. People want that because to us it sounds more fair. Because how could a person be judged for eternity? And I think he just explains that. We cannot pay for our own sin. And the punishment of that, the justice of that for what God has done is seen. So, all right, let's...
And I think
Go ahead. I'm sorry.
Going back to that, we cannot pay for. Jesus took the cup of wrath for us. He died on the cross. He drank of the cups so that we don't have to. But this is the end times. This is where it's coming down to the final angels. Yeah. And this is the day where they either accept or deny Christ. And we see here that we know what happens if we accept, and this is now the result of not accepting him. Yeah. All right. You'll be forced to drink of the cup yourself.
Verses 12 and 13.
Here is the patience of the saints. Here are they that keep the commandments of God and the faith of Jesus. And I heard a voice from heaven saying unto me, Write, blessed are the dead which die in the Lord from henceforth. Yea, saith the Spirit, that they may rest from their labors, and their works do follow them.
So we have a complete contrast of what just happened in verses 9 through 11. This is what's happening to those that did not believe forever and ever. Here's what's happened to those that do believe. If you do believe, here's the contrast of this. Rest. All those who have died in God, speaking of the martyrs during this time frame, but all those that have died, there's rest that comes with God. God will remember their labors, it says there at the end of that verse. He'll remember. It doesn't mean that's the how they were saved. That's not what it's saying. It's not the reason of their salvation. But he will remember their labors. There'll be rewards for this. So those are beautiful verses coming off of the
forever and ever.
Yeah, the torment that's coming.
14 through 16. And I looked, and behold, a white cloud, and upon the cloud one sat like the Son of Man, having on his head a golden crown, and in his hand a sharp sickle. And another angel came out of the temple, crying with a loud voice to him that sat on the cloud, Thrust in thy sickle, and reap, for the time is come for thee to reap, for the harvest of the earth is ripe. And he that sat on the cloud thrust in his sickle on the earth, and the earth was reaped.
So this is major symbolism here. The Lord, it's interesting that the angel speaks to him and says, do that. I don't, that's an interesting phrase. I can't put my mind around that one, but I mean, you can't explain every detail that. Go ahead.
For me, how different it will be to see Christ with the golden crown upon his head now, instead of the crown of thorns that was on his head when he was killed or when he was beaten. Mm-hmm. God wins.
God wins. Yeah. So this ripe means it's done. It's fully ripe. They've been given all the amount of time that they're going to get, and the sickle is meaning the judgment that's coming. Yeah. And then another angel. So this is our fifth angel of the day.
Verse 17?
Yeah.
So this kind of answers the second question that I mentioned, what happens to the Antichrist and to those who did not repent. And another angel came out of the temple which is in heaven, he also having a sharp sickle. And another angel came out from the altar which had power over fire, and cried with a loud cry to him that had the sharp sickle, saying, Thrust in thy sharp sickle, and gather the clusters of the vine of the earth, and her grapes are fully ripe. And the angel thrust in his sickle into the earth, and gathered the vine of the earth, and cast it into the great winepress of the wrath of God. And the winepress was trodden without the city, and blood came out of the winepress, even unto the horse bridles, by the space of 1,600 furlongs.
Yeah, so this, we're going to see, this is the mentioning, and then we're going to get the detail of it later.
Is this Armageddon?
Yeah, this is Armageddon. This is chapter 16 and chapter 19.
This is the finality of the carnage that's going to happen, right?
Exactly. Where the blood's going to be as high as the bridle of a horse. The Valley of Megiddo, which if you're up on the valley, we got to go to both, actually. We were up on Mount Carmel, and at Mount Carmel has a church there, and there's a roof that you can go out and it looks over the Valley of Megiddo. I have that picture in the office at home. And they have this spectrum, these lines that point toward different areas. Like you can see Mount Hermon, and you can see all these things from up there. But right below it is the Valley of Megiddo. And then we went down to the valley as well. And it's massive. I mean, it's just absolutely massive. And all the armies are going to come and fight against the Lord, which will happen,
It's the Lord.
It's the Lord. It's happening instantaneously. And it says shows the blood will be up to the bridle of a horse. But the symbolism here is this whole wine press. They would put the big basin, they would put all of it in there. They have the little drainage thing on there, and as they squished the grapes with their feet, the blood, the juice would run out. And that's the symbolism of what's going to occur here.
Yeah, when you put grapes into a wine press, there's not a single grape that's not squished.
Yeah.
And you get grape juice.
Yeah. The battle hymn of the Republic that's one of the verses in that. It talks about the wine press there. So we'll see this later on, so I don't think we'll discuss it much here. But Revelation 14 is the perfect answer to 13. And at the end of 13, it almost seemed like the Antichrist might win, but now we see here, no.
Yep.
The Lord is triumphant, powerful, in control. He is Messiah. We see his people. And
he does what he says he's going to do.
Yeah, it's not Satan, it's not the Antichrist, and it's not his followers. They will all get their punishment that's coming with that. So now we'll take a shift back, and we're going to go to the 7 vials next week. So if you can remember back, we had the trumpets, then we had the seals, then we had the trumpets, and now we are going into the vials, the 7 vials. And we'll start to add detail to what happened. I don't know. We might do a little bit of 16 next week as well.
Yeah, because the vials are in 16.
Yeah, 15's a pretty short chapter.
Do 15 and 16.
Maybe. We'll see. All right. So there's a lot in 14. That's a beautiful chapter in some areas, and it's a scary chapter in others. So.
Why did the astronomer put beef into his into his bathtub? Why did the astronomer put beef into his bathtub?
Why?
He was hoping for a meteor shower.
Ew.
A meteor shower.
That's gross.
Steve Chambers.
Steve.
Is the person. And remember when I couldn't figure out who told me the joke?
Uh-huh.
I believe it was Steve who told me that joke. So
the one from last week, a couple weeks ago.
It was a couple weeks. Yeah,
that's funny.
So
thanks, Steve.
I apologize for forgetting, but he's got some good ones.
All right, well, good deal. Well, I hope you guys are studying through with this. I hope this is a pace that, we can't really go through more than this in a week, but I hope you have a great week. Love you guys. Bye.